139. Featuring Doc, Don Vito, and Keith Cash. Harlem's #1 show.
Yo, what's up? How y'all doing? That thing was kind of loud. But anyway, you know, how y'all doing tonight's Wednesday? Another big show. Y'all know how we bring it all the time. How you doing, Doc?
I'm good. You know what I'm saying? Everything good. Ready for a big one. Gave y'all some back-to-back weeks.
So check this out, right? There's a lot of things going on out here in the community, right? With this this election thing going on right now, right? New York about to be twisted with these guys that's coming up, man. I'm gonna tell y'all right now. If y'all been watching, y'all need to pay attention. So what I'm saying, whatever you're doing out there to get your bag and all that, you better hold it because the government shut down and a whole lot of things going on. They trying to twist us up, man. And only people gonna be able to survive the people that got a little bit of money put away or the people got a plan. You know what I'm saying? So don't be naive to that, man. Y'all gotta pay attention, man. And it always affect the minorities before it affect the other people. You know what I'm saying? But without further ado, I'm Don Vito, voice for the peoples.
I'm Doc.
So Doc, bring our guests in, man.
You know, today we got a nice guest here for y'all, man. Long awaited. He's supposed to came a while ago, but it's a good time right here. You know what I'm saying? Glad to have my boy, you know what I'm saying, Michael Knox in the building.
Michael Knox with the deal.
Y'all know what it is.
I like the swag.
Cash, and Ted.
And which month you ain't say me, man?
I did say Don Vito.
You said Don Vito?
I said, man, you good?
Yeah. Okay, put me in the game, coach.
Yeah.
Nah, but good to see you. How you doing, man?
I appreciate you, man. I remember the first time I came here, y'all were interviewing Mr. Munges from Inclusion. I couldn't speak at the time because my parole officer was in my heels, in my back. Now, thanks to the Second Chance Act, after a year I filed to come on for paper, and I was after a year and a half.
So what's the Second Chance Act for our
The Second
audience?
Chance Act is what Congress passed. It's a bill that was passed for guys that were previously incarcerated and females that's coming out. When you come out, you should not be held to the same. You should be given the same opportunities as one that's in society. We shouldn't be held or looked down upon like we've been doing.
Right.
And as you know, the president, he's a felon. He has 34 felons. So he's the
President Trump.
Yeah, he's the poster boy for the Second Chance Act because he's getting a second chance. He's running for the biggest office in the world, you know. So I have a friend that I'm part of the it's called the Second Chance Act portal, and his name is Mr. Swint. And our purpose is centered to those former incarcerated individuals who was released by the courts or by legal technicality. These former incarcerated individuals who did not get the benefits of pre-release programming, and the non-profit organization is designed to mainly help them. Mr. Swint and myself, Mr. Swint, while we were in Allenwood, USP Allenwood, it was Mr. Swint, Anthony Violi, and myself. These were all three different men. One was an Italian Jew, one was a Sunni, and I'm a British Jamaican Jew. You know, and we all were odd couple, but guess what? Everybody gravitated to us in the law library because we served one burden of truth with everybody, and that was to fight for our liberty and so forth. So Mr. Swin, he specializes in constitutional law. And the good thing about it is that we didn't forget those behind us. We have come out to society, and there's a few brothers and females that we're still in contact with. And I know how it is. Like I said, why you walk around tracks with individuals and you come home and you forget them.
Correct.
You used to eat with them. We play, we talk, you develop a family. That's why the feds is not like the state. To me, the feds, it's based on tribalism and territorialism. And the reason I say that is because when you get in there, because to me it's like the United Nations. There's many different ethnicities down there, right? Different cultures, Mexicans, you have Jews, you have Italians, you have Jamaicans, you have Spanish, Dominicans, Puerto Ricans. So just look at it like the United Nations. So we all have to coexist with one another. Unlike the state, you're in your state. But if the feds, if you get in a situation, you can get shipped way across the world. But in the process of that, I took advantage of my situation. Like I said, I was sentenced in Washington, D.C. to life without parole. In 1989, I was the one that started to work in 50s.
All right, so
Yeah.
Okay, my bad.
So no, you're doing it
We're
wrong.
gonna start.
I'm doing
So
it again.
we did the introduction. No, we good.
We'll
But
start
now
from
we
the
gonna get
beginning.
your story from the beginning. We gonna
Okay.
lead you up to that, and we gonna go
Okay,
further.
no problem.
So tell everybody where you from.
Like a book.
I'm from the Bronx.
From the Bronx.
All right, I'm from the Boogie Down Bronx. White
The
Plains.
BX.
BX in the house, man. You know,
Right.
BX we always seem to get forgotten. You know, it all started in the Bronx. I didn't
100%.
say that. That's what the record said.
100%, and he ain't lying
You know,
either.
but why is it that we don't get our credit? But that's all good. It was
right.
Bronx cats. We went out of town and we did what we did.
So growing up as a young dude in the Bronx, how was life for you, man? As a young dude.
All right, as a young dude and being a British Jamaican, coming to this country, like I said, I came as a child. My accent, it was a culture
So what age
shock.
you came? You came.
I came
over?
here at 7 years old.
7 years old.
And it was a culture shock
Right.
because I had to learn. Well, the women loved me, but the guys didn't like me.
Right.
Oh, he's cute, and that's understandable. But in the process of that, my mother didn't understand, and my mother, a West Indian mother, is very strict on schooling. And I used to get in trouble in class because the teacher only see me when I'm responding to the guys that tease me.
Right.
So she sends home a note, and my mother think that it was my fault. My mother came into school and slapped the mess out of me. And then she
Right.
don't play no games.
They
So
don't
that
play.
was very embarrassing.
Caribbean women don't play games.
I was
when it
very
comes to-
embarrassing in the class.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So majority of my thing that turned to the streets was out of rebelliousness because after my mother wouldn't believe me, I started just shutting down, and I just got rebellious.
So do you think that the kids in your class, you know, used to come at you certain type of ways because you came from Jamaica?
I'm not going to say specifically because
Like,
of
is he
Jamaica. It's
light-skinned?
because of because there was it was a mixture in there. You know, later on, that light skin thing will come up. But I think that as I've gotten older and I look back now and I watch my grandkids and I watch how how children are, children can be real mean to something they don't understand.
Correct.
Because I was of a different culture, and because I was a shy guy, believe it or not. A lot of people don't believe me when I tell them that. I was very shy, I was introverted, and females used to talk to me and tell me what they wanted to do. The American woman was very aggressive. They'll tell you what they want to do with you in a minute, and it made me wither, you know. And I was like this, and it was you don't know. So those are the things that I encountered, and I think as I got on to try to build up some credence, I started getting violent towards my peers.
Right.
To try.
That's when the street life started.
The street life started. I was going to. That was in PS 76. I went to Mount Vernon High. My mother sent me to Mount Vernon High, and I remember my man Grover. He said, "Yo, man, the only way you're gonna get girls, man, you got to play sports." Now I got two left legs. I don't know nothing about football. I don't know nothing about basketball.
Right.
But I had all the heights and all that. So
Right.
he said, "Yo, we're gonna try it for the JV."
Right.
So I said, "Yo, man, that shit look hard, man. That shit look like it hurt." Man, come on, man. So, boom, we went in there. I got in the JV team, and the teammates seen that I didn't know how to play. So, you know, your teammate can be rude. They was trying to crush me.
Right.
And that, I don't give a damn what you say. That equipment don't work. Anyway, we went, and the game started going on in Westchester. And what I used to do, I ended up playing on the bench. 'Cause I don't know. The coach used to say, "Hey, Palmer, got 5 minutes left. You ready?" And I go in there and I do what I do. I was right guard. I never forget it. My number was 53.
Yeah.
Don't know a lick. When they in the huddle, I don't know what the hell. To this day, I don't know what they're saying. I don't know what the hell they're saying, right? So today you'll call it faking. Yeah, when we finished the game, they say, "You coming with us?" I said, "Nah, I'm gonna wear my uniform. I wear my jersey, but I'll roll over on the dirt. When I get in the bus, I got a story to tell."
Right.
To the girls. But I got the girls.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, so I guess my life started as a lie from a young age. And my daughters and my wife, when they was getting my preparation of my paper, my thing for my lawyers, they said, "Oh my God, your record is atrocious." Because they, so that's how it is. But there's always an excuse for that. And like I said, it was a culture shock.
Right.
But
So growing up in the Bronx, so what neighborhood did you grow up in?
I was in the White Plains, Gun Hill Road area.
Gun Hill Road,
and
okay.
Boston Road area,
Right,
my
right.
last,
Well, over there is even till today.
North Bronx. It's called North Bronx.
Right, but it's
It's the
still today.
suburbs.
A lot of Caribbean people live up there, heavy.
Exactly.
They heavy up there.
Exactly.
You know?
There
So
used to be Italians, and when the Caribbeans
with
came,
Caribbean,
they
right,
moved out.
moved them out.
So,
Correct.
but that's how everything is, though, as far as culture. You know, and this is what I was talking to you all about. We as black, it's not about that. Now I can look beyond that. We as blacks supposed to unify, because when we unify, we come strong.
100%.
We supposed to respect the woman. The children are the nucleus of civilization. The woman is the infrastructure. Because when you talk to a woman, you talk to a nation. When you talk to a man, you talk to an individual. You understand?
Correct.
And one thing in the island we're taught to respect, respect our elders. It's just that I don't know if I'm getting too premature to explain why I feel that there's a void between the young and the old. I don't know if
Nah,
go ahead, do your thing.
Okay,
Do your
so
thing.
I personally feel from my experience, because believe it or not, while I was incarcerated, I took public speaking. Then I ended up teaching public speaking. I became a mentor. I became a tutor. I'm one of the 19 that started the suicide program in the federal system to this day that's still prevalent. And what I tend to realize is that I used to have a way where we look at each other and we criticize one another. But while I'm in there with all these different gang members, I've spoken to BDs, GDs, vice lords, gangsters, GDs, Mexican mafia, border brothers, borderline. Reason being they gravitate was, and Crips and Bloods. The reason being is because they see a foreigner, so they feel more comfortable. And their story is the same. Yo, I had a big homie. He wanted me to do this. But now I was being used. So with that I said, I started trying to educate them. The first book that I gave them to read was called As a Man Thinketh by James Allen. Because I just caught a stabbing and I came out the hole, and a Sunni Muslim brother gave me, he called me in the room. He said, hey, can I talk to you? He said, yeah, I've been in this unit with you for 2 years and you've been respectful, and I never knew you was Jamaican because you don't talk. He said, but that day when you blew on that dude, he said, you started speaking some language. I didn't know what was going on. So he said, straight up, he said, you come out the hole, he said, I come from Virginia. He said, I don't like Jamaica. I said, what the fuck? So he said, take it easy, youngster. I'm being real with you. He said, the Jamaicans that was coming from New York, it was black, dreadlocks, and they was doing a lot of unnecessary. So he said, hear me out. He said, what is left standing after a tsunami? Think about it. That's a tornado. So I said, a building. He said, no, nothing. He said, nothing is standing. He said, the only thing left standing is grass. He said, you have to learn to be flexible. He said, no man is infallible. I've been in this block with you, and you were from hot to cold. You're from black to white. He said, yes or no. You won't have no medium. You have to learn to be infallible. He said, I want you to read this. And he gave me this book. The book was As a Man Thinketh. This small, 68 pages. Listen, Vito. Listen, Doc. I went and took a shower. I went in my cell, and I started reading the book. And the more I read it, the more thirsty I started getting it. I read the book. I was so thirsty. I read it. I had to read it 3 times because, the mind, when we read something, the mind captivate everything, right? But we only remember it. But when I read it again, I got a different perspective.
Correct.
When I read it the 3rd time, I got a completion. Right. I said, oh, man. I tried to give it back. He said, nah, that's for you. I went and made 100 copies, and every youngster from that day on, my duty was to teach the youngsters. Gang members, they'll gravitate to me and say, damn, man, you a fly. I never see a fly Jamaican, that for the wrong reason, because, I was getting my visits. I go down, one thing, another thing is people judge you. You got a lot of dudes inside that say they Elmer J. Fudge with a yacht and a mansion, but your visit tell it all.
Tell it all.
When you go in that dance floor,
tell it all.
Dance floor, tell it
hey,
all.
listen, man, you can tell me
Dance
anything you
floor,
want, but when you go in that dance floor,
tell it. That's
and I'm
facts.
not trying to talk about people. You have some people look like Cabbage Patch.
Right.
And I ain't trying to be insulted, but I'm just saying,
it's facts.
dude's story don't go with each other.
Nah, it don't.
So, with that said, I tell them, I said, look, bro, read the book. They read the book. They started, oh, man. Yo, you got anything to... At that time, Jay-Z came out with the book called Alchemist. I went and ordered the book. I read the book. The Alchemist is a metaphor. It's alchemist mean from metal change to gold, but it's metaphorically from a young man that transcends to a man because his father sends him out to the desert. And that book, when I give it to them, yo, you got any more? And listen, from that, then I realized that knowledge, when you had to tell somebody to educate themselves, it opens up doors. Because even the gang members, I said, I'm all for organization. We were just talking about the Black Spades.
Right.
I got kicked out of every school in New York City, and I was going to who remember the Cedar program in New York City, on Park Avenue, where they used to have the troubled child. I was there. My counselor was Mankind. He was a Black Spade. And he used to take me down to 125th Street to the boxing, and we were going. And in there, what I learned was when he used to tell me, he said, yo, young man, yo, listen, man, you got to educate because education open up doors. When you have education, you have something to compare it and something to say, hold on, I can do this to better myself.
Yeah. Information.
And listen, and I'm not going to lie, homie. I've been in system. I came across a lot of young, good, educated brothers, talented, that was misled. And I tell them it's not too late. I'm talking young brothers, young princes. I tell them, yo, you're a prince, you're a king. Forget about what you are. Okay, you a gang. I said, I'm all for organizations because Don Johnson, who was a black spades, he was looking at 75 years. And he said in the Bronx, and he said he beat it. And from there on, he told God, he said, if I beat this, I'm going to be a revolutionary to help the youths. He said, and y'all can look it up, ESPN did a survey that 500 Fortune company compared to a street organization. The street organization is run more proficient and sufficient than the 500. Why? Because when there in life, when there is a possibility of you know that there's consequences, you're gonna stay in line.
That's true.
In the streets, you get consignment. In society, you get credit. When it's time, the consequence of the streets can be severe. The consequence of society is a lawsuit. So the ones that's going to be something severe is going to be on point. So I gave them that comparison. I said, look here, man. I'm not taking away that you want to call yourself a G. You want to call. I'm not going to tell you don't do this, but I want to tell you, read this. And once you awaken the mind of knowledge in a person, it opens up more because you want more. You want more.
Right.
It's like you're reading a magazine. All right, it's like people now today, we living in a social media world. I say in my memoirs, the generation today are very knowledgeable. They're very smart, intelligent, but they lack wisdom.
Yeah.
Wisdom is where us support. But guess what? We have some peers that are worse than the young. You trying to compete with the young. I seen a dude 55, I ain't gonna put his name out there. He got on some clothes like a young dude, all tight up. The youngsters looking, I'm standing there, look at that goofball. And then while I was inside, you got a 55-year-old, he crip dancing in front of the TV. And the youngsters is criticizing him because it comes a time when after you mature in the gang life, you're supposed to educate the next babies coming up.
Yeah.
Like I said, I'm not against organizations, but I telling somebody, the gang, it's a culture. And you have gangs, and as a veteran, I'm a veteran. I went in the military at 16.
I was going to get this. So,
yeah, all right.
There's two questions that I want to get from you. When did you go to the military? What branch, right? And then what led you to go to prison from the start?
Or get in the streets.
Okay. Good question.
Okay.
Again, I got kicked out of every school in New York. I'm sorry, my daughters and the wife. Hey, listen, man.
They already know. They
seen it. They was oh my God. They said, look at this.
Yeah, they seen it.
My wife said, if I knew you was like this, I wouldn't have. I said, look here, man. God brought us together. Let's leave that alone. All right. Anyway, I got kicked out of every school in New York. The last school was Mount Vernon because they had the basketball player, Scooter McCrae, the one that made the New York.
Yes.
Yeah.
Scooter got brother.
Yeah.
Rodney McCrae.
There you go. So you know what I know. So I ended up going to Jersey. My aunt had nursing homes. She lived in Upper Montclair, and I went over there to live with them. Went to Montclair High. I have a cousin that was going there, and as coming from New York, people going, the girls again, oh, they go to New York, the dudes would say, back then the fade was coming, they called them tackheads. So I had a Caesar. Yeah. So they tried to bum rush me in the bathroom, and I pulled something out, and then they took off, and they went and told, they kicked me out. They didn't get nothing, but they kicked me out. Right. So while I'm sitting in the living room, my aunt said, West Indian, she said, Lord Jesus, you're just embarrassing. There's no way you can go that I can do nothing with you. So I'm sitting there, she beat me in my ears. Did you hear me talking to you? So I seen the Marine Corps. I said, I want to go there. She said, where? I said, the Marines. She said, you serious? Let's go. She took, I didn't even get to finish. Say yes. She grabbed my hand. And we out the door, went straight to the Valley Road, right to the recruiting office. And the guy said, yeah. She said he's 2 months. The guy said, he's supposed to be 17, but listen, give me a parental signature. And man, she went and got that notified that same day.
She wasn't playing.
She wasn't playing. So boom, we went and did all that. He manipulated the paperwork, and I'm anxious. I'm saying to Marines, my problem was when I go to take the test, I messed up on the ADVAD. That's the boxes and the different things.
Yeah.
They said you gotta wait. I said, man, I can't wait. They said the Army will take you. So I went into the Army. Went into the Army. When I got into the Army, when we landed, it was 7 guys and 3 girls. So the girls we picked up, they was looking good. You know, I was real small. So they told us, the stewardess said, look, when the plane landed on the tar pit, everybody gonna get off your way here, they're gonna come for you. So when they came for us, we sitting there for 20 minutes, everybody getting the skirts. So they had some big dudes from down south like this. So I was slim. So I'm like this a year. You maggots, you got 10 seconds and 8 is gone. So everybody jump up and the big dude, the biggest dude, he gets, I'm like, because it catch me, I'm like, what the hell? So they come in, he out. Make a long story, he put his hands on me, grab me, I said, what you doing? So I think my accent, he said, oh, we got one. And he's from up north. Ever since then, it wasn't right. So me and him had physical altercation. And back then, it was a bad experience in there because I completed boot camp on my AIT, but in the process of that, I got jumped. So I can talk about this now because I'm seeing a therapist because inside there, you know, these things happen. He did Vietnam tour, so we got in fights, and there was some situations where blanket parties and all that occurred, you know. Right. And, but I got an honorable this, but this is what I'm dealing with now. I didn't know that at that time that I had PTSD. I didn't know that because we as youngsters, you disassociate, you don't identify it. But it wasn't the fact that I was incarcerated. It was now that when the VSO came in the feds and I was talking to them, and he said, nah, man, and I started seeing them and said, look, your trauma started from back then. So that's something now I don't run away from. Like another thing I want to deal with guys coming home, mental health. That's a real serious situation because a lot of us in the black community has that. One thing I can say with the military, they didn't leave me hanging. They give me the best care and taking care of my situation. So I'm grateful for that. I thank God for that. I came home at 17. I took my shots to go overseas, Seoul, Korea, and so forth. But I came home. When I came home, I ended up going to California, out to California. I'm 18 now. I went out there. My 2 sisters were going to UCLA. They're Chinese Jamaican. And my father, he says, you're not going to come out here and just ride my boat, because he had his business. Because he had a boat too. So I used to go out there and jet ski. So I enrolled in LA Harbor Tech. And I was taking computer science, electronic technology, 1 course of psychology. Stayed a semester, dropped out because I had gotten a young lady pregnant in New York, and I was trying to bring her out there. She wouldn't come. Went back to New York, went to Valhalla Community, changed it to business organization, stayed a semester, and dropped out against my mother and father's wishes. That was it. Now the baby's born. Any one of you all have kids, you know that baby shit like a chicken. So as a man, my responsibility, because my father said, you got to take care of your foundation. You can't do nothing for nobody. He was telling me some good stuff, but my mother, my ignorant, nah, man, I'm a man, I got to take it. He said, you're a what? He said, you're a boy, man, I'm boxing your mouth. You know? This is my father. He trying to give me some rough. I'm going to listen, end up getting caught up. I have a friend, Bridget, said, yo, Star, I have some weed, you know. Started selling marijuana. From marijuana, man said, yo, I end up going to Rikers Island. Man said, yo, marijuana too heavy, B. We have something else called coke. I'm getting the coke game. And then through that, I contact some other people that I say from back when in where I was at the military, and it's just a connection, like I said. So that's where my thing. I set a goal. I said I didn't want to be in there. I set up monetary that I wanted to buy. I said the first $1 million I get, I'm going to stop. But on my way up to there, I had gotten shot. I'd gotten shot in D.C. and I got robbed in D.C. And I thought he was going to dump on me, but he didn't. But anyway, I laid my mother-in-law at the time, said, yo, you don't need to do no more. Stop, you're good. But the ego, dudes kept coming from all out. That's why I said, Bill Underwood have a co-defendant that came by my bed. And I was telling you about Bill from the vigilante team down in Harlem. He had a guy that was on his case. I didn't know who Bill was at the time till I got in the system. His man came, he was in Virginia. He said, yo, man, look here. He came, some other dudes from Florida, New York. He was at my bedside. Yo, I'm I was 25. These dudes was like 30, 32, 35, and literally had tears in the, oh, what's up? We're gonna, and that made my ego, yeah, you're right. I can't. And I should have stopped then. I didn't listen to a woman's intuition. My mother-in-law got back in the game and one person said, look out for this dude, and I did that, and my wings got clipped. That's how I end up, the situation happened out of town, and what happened, I had a co-defendant, and what happened was in D.C., what D.C. was doing, the cops was crooked, the 6th Circuit and the 4th Circuit, they'll rob you, especially if you're out of town, they'll take $50,000, $60,000 off you, get out of here. So this one particular incident, a guy that was extension of from New York, from the Bronx, the guy came, he thought it was a stick-up, and he popped off and hit it, but it was an undercover. He ain't died though, so that's when the whole thing just went catastrophic. And then the dude started, one dude, the same dude that I looked out for, he threw my name under the bus. I didn't have nothing to do with that, but that's how the whole thing, everything crumbled after
In
that.
D.C.?
In D.C.
And everything in D.C. is federal.
Everything is no, it was a federal case because the dude Ledman, Detective Ledman, was crooked. He was one of them dudes you see where he come around in the projects in the housing and he'll intimidate the women. He was also getting fellatio from women, and he was out of town, especially Jamaica. He was pressing them. He was taking, let me get that, and dudes don't want to get arrested, so he take. There was a lot of corruption going on down there, and pound for pound. And I'm saying this, and this is not me saying there's more money in D.C. than New York. Why? Because they make money down there. Every crackhead down there, and I'm sorry, every crackhead down there had an ATM. Remember, D.C.'s a civil working town. They were coming with dead presidents. I thought the money was counterfeit.
That's why everybody's going out there.
Yeah, but I'm saying in 6 months you'll be a millionaire. If you're not going to go, if you're not hustling, if you're not, I never been to parties. I don't do none of that out there because you get left out there.
Yeah.
Correct.
And I used to tell dudes, I said, look here, homie, you're not going out there to do. The Bible even says that the worst thing that you can do to a man is mess with his woman. How you gonna go to another man's backyard? You getting his money because they're gonna gravitate. Then you're gonna take his woman. Then you're gonna go in their club and flaunt their face.
Yeah, you can't do that.
Come on, man.
You gotta be careful.
You remember the belly?
Your belly,
Look at them New York niggas right there. I'm gonna drop a dime. It still goes on, homie. Now, I used to feel proud when I was in the system when I first come in. Yo, that's the New York cats. Because New York had a name, but after a while it started get diluted.
They got diluted.
Dudes coming in, there ain't no unity no more. Even the gang members come in there. At first, I remember when they started coming in the 90s, none of them wanted to admit they were gang members because it was like this. They didn't know how dudes, remember all the dudes was repelling it. But even so, when they do come in the system, they don't like one another. They argue with one another.
Argue all day.
So how is it you with something and there's so much, and I tell the youngsters, I say, educate yourself. When you educate yourself, you can see things. You can see your future. This man is an artist. This man is a poet. This man, it hurts my heart because I used to tell him, I said, man, I wish I had the talent you had, homie. You got some dudes can play ball. I can't play. I said, look, I got 2 left legs. Seriously, you got some dudes that got the gift of gab. I said, homie, why didn't you utilize your talent?
That's a talent.
So let's stop there for a minute. So you got sentenced to how much time?
I was sentenced to 2 life sentence and 20 years. I asked the judge, I said, is this a joke? You want me to die and come back and do the 20? I don't understand what's going on. Get him out of here. Because the marshals moved in on me. I'm asking a serious question. How you going to give me 2 life sentence and 20 years? Because I didn't know. But what they did was wheeled in 27 weapons. They had machine guns and they had all that. But guess what? None of us got caught with weapons, but they wheeled that in. And then
so you put that on your case?
Fake war on drugs. Yeah, I got that in. You go to my case, United States versus Harris. You're gonna see United States versus Harris, 1992, 9 56 Fed second 246.
You ever ran across Alpo down there?
No, I was in there before Alpo.
Okay.
I know Alpo from New York. I don't know him personally, but I had a co-defendant.
Because he was in D.C. heavy around that time.
He went in afterwards. We got knocked. When I got knocked, the week later, Rafus them got knocked.
Right.
And after a while, Alpo got knocked because the telling started.
Okay.
So you got knocked, you said 89, right?
I got knocked and I started to work in 50s in Washington, D.C. It was Paradise, Mayfair and Paradise area. Anybody that been down there know it. Dudes know my case, know my Cody's, because my motto was this. I'm going to give quality over quantity. I told my Codys, I said, look, do not abuse, do not. One thing we never did, I treat you respectfully. That's why I told somebody I'm a fake drug dealer, because I wasn't a drug dealer before. I used to do robbery, believe it or not. Ain't nobody told me. I ended up going to jail for that. I used to do. I think I told somebody I put some makeup on.
In the wig and all that.
For real.
Yeah.
I plays the game for real. Or I lay way and you wouldn't even know. I've been there, dudes walk by me and don't know. Look at that nasty motherfucker, and I'm laughing. You don't even know who this is. Yeah. But anyway, what I say to this is that the game, the DC was an era where, like I said, if you have work, there's no one man. If you got work, it's gonna sell because everybody's looking to hustle. As long as you're not getting high, as long as you're not blowing your money, you're gonna make money. You know what I'm saying? DC's a good plot. There's a lot of good men in DC. Don't get it twisted. Quite contrary to how dudes want to say DC. There's a lot of good men in DC. There's a lot, because I had a 016 number. The first brothers in the federal system that fought for blacks were DC dudes. They're the one that was on the front line for DC. Not for DC, for anything. It don't matter where you came from. They wasn't on this geographic stuff. If you were a brother and the white boy was, they there for you. And that's how it used to be. Until later on when the gang mentality came in, everybody cars start calling cars and gangs and all that. So now they stuck with that. One thing I admire about DC, I don't give a fuck if the dude is a faggot swinging dick. When that trumpet blow, dan 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 ah, every swinging dick better be on the deck. Yeah. And if they have a beef, if a homie it is getting a fight in the block, and you don't get involved, after that is done, the police come. They doing their own investigation, and whoever didn't get involved is getting slaughtered. What they call it? What they call that shit? The broham. That knife, they call it the broham. Like I said, there's so much, man. But like I said, I was respected by DC dudes. A lot of DC. Joe James was a name brand DC dudes that was in Leavenworth with me, and I met him again in USP Coleman 2. He was L. He had killed a cop in the system. But he was a real good dude. He stopped me from doing something. And there's a lot of good men, man, quite contrary. And like I said, every state have their issues, homie. Every state have their issues.
So how about your family? When they gave you the 2 life sentence, where they
Listen.
I know that had to be crushing.
What? When they gave me 2 life sentence, I left my wife. My daughter was 2 years old, and my young daughter. Oh, sorry. My daughter was 2 years old, and my young daughter, she born 7 days after I got arrested. So she was left with some young babies, and that's devastating for a young woman. My wife, when I met her, she was a model. She had an agency. She was a model with an agency, and listen, man, I don't know.
So
man.
when you went to the feds, right? What jail they sent you to?
The first jail I went to was Leavenworth.
Okay.
That's where I was designated, and but I had an altercation. Like I said, I wasn't there for 2 weeks. They told me in New York hit me with a money laundering, and I had to leave and go back to New York and get a money laundering time. I ended up copping out after 2 years. The other guys that was on my case.
So Leavenworth is like a military.
No, you have the military. You have military and you have civilian.
Right.
I wasn't in the military side. I was in the civilian side.
Right.
The penitentiary, Leavenworth Penitentiary. And there I met Guy Fisher, Dr. Fisher, his name is Dr. Fisher to this day. I met him through Joe Sherman. And what happened was
Big Joe.
Yeah, Big Joe.
Was, Dipset bodyguard, right?
Yeah. I think he was him and Cameron was doing something. But anyway, I know Joe from the Bronx. In fact, when I was a youngster, Joe, he's a very flamboyant person. He'll come and Joe, when I was small, I used to get work from Joe. And reason being at the time, because it saved me from going downtown. His works was bigger, so I could double flip it. And I was double flipping it and get my money up. Yeah. One thing I said with Daddy, he played, he played that part. But he introduced, when I got to Leavenworth, what it is when you come in the system, you had everybody there. You had I can't remember everybody's name off the top, but we were in the block. I was in B Upper. It was Guy Fisher, it was Joe, and it was a few other dudes from New York. But he introduced me to Guy Fisher, who's Dr. Fisher now, and I'm watching him. I'm watching everything because I'm trying to adjust. I just got married. I'm a young dude. I'm sitting there. I was zombied out, man. I just get up every morning. I don't want to eat. I just sitting there watching everybody how they move. Guy get on the phone. Guy got on the phone. Every minute you're on the phone, I'll call my wife. Yo, did you talk to the lawyer? Da 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 da. So boom. One day I said to him, I said, yo, Mr. Fisher, what advice can you give me, man? How you do this, man? Because you've been in 10 years and you just moved. He said, look. I said, I'm married. He said, look here. All you can be is friends. Forget about marriage. All you can be is friends with somebody in here. He told me 3 things, homie, that I ran with. He said, learn your case, educate yourself, and stay out of prison politics. Them 3 things I ran with. I left, I came back, and I got involved with my opposition, the Shower, another organization.
Shower Posse?
Yeah, another dude, Kong. He's dead now. He died now. I got in a situation with him.
He was strong in it too.
Everybody came, and it turned into a politics. You know, when you get a bunch of islanders together, this one telling this one, I killed more than you. And I used to say to them, how you going to tell? It's like you telling me you counting another man's money. I said, you can't count another man's money. You all come out even. So how you going to tell a man what he did? But that's just the ignorance. So every time it's banquet time. So anyway, he put his hands on a young dude, and I don't like bullies. I don't like it, but that's how I am. You know, my group of people, the Spanglers, my group of people, those are the oppositions to them. It's like a Democrat and a Republican. The Spangler them is like a Democrat, and then you have the labor rights, which is a shower. So I'm just giving you an example like that. But and like I said, I never fight politics at y'all, but we come up here, and when we get together in the system, we come together because we're Islander. And give a shout out to the Lionhearts too. But that never make no sense. We end up getting in a situation, Kong end up telling. He got stabbed, end up telling. They locked up 7 of us. They locked up Delroy Uzis, co-defendant Howie. They locked up me. They locked up Stamo Barry, who was a shower. They locked up Kid, who was he was neutral, but he was a Democrat. And they locked up Stepper, who was Spangler. They sent us all to Terry Hut, and I was in Terry Hut for from '93 to 2000. I caught in stabbings there. I got in beefs. I used to wear a bulletproof vest in there because I don't trust nobody. So what I do, I always wear a Forex, but I had a bulletproof vest is made out of a sweatshirt. You get the side where your kidneys and liver padded, and you put a block here and a block here because I know, and I worked out religiously. So a dude got to come. I'm not saying I can't be had, but you're going to work for this. So I stayed prepared. You know what I'm saying? I get up every morning, I read Psalms 23. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. Then I say, yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I fear. That was my religious, every day I said it. And I walked through I did what I did. There's other things I did in it, but like I said, with Guy, when he told me that, when I came back, I got in a situation. I ended up in Terry. From then on, I told God, that's when I had my transformation. I told him, I said, look, man, I'm trying to get out of prison. I'm not trying to get no name. I'm not trying to do nothing. And it started going like this. I started applying myself. I did over 200 programs in the federal system to this day. I took college courses.
Like that.
Yeah, but I also took college courses that those, you know, and like I said, the physical training.
Which one you had?
Tutor.
You remember?
No, I just did the physical training. I didn't get to do the certificate. I was just doing the physical training in there with guys.
Yeah.
The public speaking, I took it in Lewisburg. I ended up teaching it. Then we started the suicide prevention.
Correct.
So at a time when and this is another thing I want to tell dudes that's in there, because I know y'all are watching. You know who I'm talking to. I told you again. Get creative. Create your own legacy. You can still do it in there because they don't want the staff to write you letters no more. What I did while we were in the unit is maybe 150 individuals in every unit. Get a bunch of brothers together, talk to them, let them write you letters, because that letters will define your character. The courts do accept that. The courts accept that. When they take away the programs from you fellas, get creative. Let your mind get creative. Let your mind get creative. You know, I did that. Out of the 10 letters of the guys I was talking to, the judge accepted 10. The judge accepted
Oh, wow,
6.
that's good.
He accepted 6. So I say that to say that don't ever think that they shut you down. You can still do something. Educate yourself. Take programs. You understand what I'm saying? Another thing in Leavenworth, man. I got baptized in Leavenworth. Everybody laughed at me. If you ever been to Leavenworth, you know it's a movie theater.
Yeah,
Lewisburg, Leavenworth, and Atlanta have movie theaters. I came in Soul House while I was in transit in Oklahoma, and I just got this time. I was zombied out on me. I used to cry. Tears used to come down my eyes at night. And I said to God, I said, yo, man, you say to talk. I'm talking to God like this. You say to talk to you. Why are you giving me slow death? Why didn't you let me die tonight when I got shot and robbed, man? Because normally when I had a 45 on me. Normally when people rob you, at least the people I run with, they turn around and dump on you. These dudes, I had a 14 karat gold, solid gold P-cord watch. I had 20 bands in my pocket, and there was 130,000 in the apartment. And a dude just pawned his Sagittarius chain like this for an ounce. It was all diamond out. I had a ring with 5 carats and 10 pointers, 10 pointers going across like this. And it was made of the Jamaican flag. They took all that. Somebody said, get the gun. So I thought when they took it, they was going to hit me in the head. I ain't gonna lie to you, and I'm not ashamed. I tell everybody, I said to them, yo, I just got married, man. I got 2 kids, man. I don't give a fuck about this. They took it and ran. They took it and ran, you know, and I should have left the game after that. Like I said, I allowed myself to not leave when my mother-in-law said, you got more than enough now, stop. When ego kicked in, you know, but everything happened for a reason.
And sometimes it don't be ego, sometimes it be a high.
It's a high.
It be a high, you know, because, you know, we all dipped and dabbed, you know, the fellas here. And me, I used to get a like a rush or high or excitement doing it. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, I like you said.
Get back, yeah.
Like you said, there's a what you said? Like the terminology in the streets where it's more respect, so you make sure you cross all your T's, top your I's, because you know penalties.
Yeah.
Whereas you do it on the other route, you know, there's credit.
Yeah.
Bad, whatever. That rush of making sure these things don't happen and moving, you know, you got the stick up kids, you got the police, you know, and then you trying to eat. You know what I'm saying? But to be able to move in that type of circuit, I used to get a high from it. That's what I'm saying. Because at some point when you get money, the money don't move you no more. It don't move you no more. You know what I'm saying?
It didn't.
But that feeling was that had me do it again. You know what I'm saying?
Listen, I'm gonna tell you.
That feeling, man.
I'm gonna tell you something else, because my wife. One thing with her, I should have listened to my wife and my mother-in-law. She used to say, "Nigga, you faking." I used to have a limousine, a white limousine. I used to wear suits. I had 30 suits, tailor-made suit, Armani's, and I had a attaché case. Nothing in the attaché case but $2,500. Limousine come pick me up. Yo, I'm keeping it 100. This is in Chino where Biggie them used living on. They come pick me up. The dude there, I got a cashmere coat on. I'm shopping on Park Avenue, down from the Hemsley's Hotel. Then I'm flying out here and there. I'm just living life. And I'm fake. She said, nigga, every day you get up, you fake. You're not going doing nothing. That's true. I'm making money, but I don't have a plan. I didn't have a plan. Now, I'm gonna say I beg to differ in that sense. When you say that, it's a high, because guess what? I knew, me personally, I can't speak for everybody else. I knew what I was doing wasn't right. I got off it. Remember I told you I was a fugitive for 5 years. That's another thing my wife said. Nigga, if I knew you was fugitive for 5 years, I wouldn't be fucking with all this shit coming out when you get arrested.
The paperwork.
Oh, so when you was a fugitive, she never knew you was on the run.
Nah, man. I was listen, man. That's a whole nother story, man. That'll be another episode. Trust me. But anyway, my wife's something else, man. She said, listen, man. My wife is. I was watching Power, and the shit why Ghost got with Tasha. That reason, we lived that. I pulled on Boston Road to hit somebody off at work, and here comes a 47 on the cover. I had a 357 Mag. My wife, I just picked her up. She just left from downtown modeling, because doing the modeling week. She's sitting in there. She's looking. You can see she's from Jersey. She have Jersey Tech. I'm driving her car. They pull us. I said, oh shit, She said, let me get it. Then she took the joint, she took the big 357 and put it in a bag. I said, oh shit. But my dumb ass, nervous, I dropped one fucking, you remember it was pyramids that you used to put your shit in pyramids?
Yeah.
The police, oh, what we got here? And that's what got me off. But from she did that night, that solidifies what she is. And yo, she was more than a ride or die. Don't get in an argument with her because she tell me go to sleep. No, nigga, I go to sleep. I got something for you. I can't sleep in there. I'm gone. Even to this day, she got a temper that ain't no joke, homie. I'm keeping it 100. But she's family. You can tell how a woman love you by how they raise your kids. My youngest daughter's a doctor. My other daughter, she graduated. She's in the which is HR. My other daughter works in the medical, and then there's my son. But she took care. Them kids never want for nothing. Their lifestyle never changed, and that's what I'm grateful for. Now, when I came home, I had to go, and I tell everybody this that's coming home. I didn't go to halfway house. You need to go and devaluate yourself. Meaning that when I came home, I'm programmed to react. And I find that it was getting off into family members. I was arguing with family members. And when it got to the point when my youngest daughter and I almost got catastrophic, oh yeah, my other daughter hooked off on me. Bang! Yeah, hey, listen, man, lucky it was 3 daughters there. The other daughter stopped everything because they getting ready to get me. You know, I can laugh about it now, but I could see the irony of it because remember, they formed a unit. You have to readjust. And this is what I want to tell a lot of you all out there that's coming home. Remember, if you wasn't growing with your family, know that you have to relearn one another. There's nothing wrong with that. That's real. You have to relearn one another because we're all strangers. You understand? I'm seeking mental. I'm seeking I'm not burnt out or nothing, but I'm talking to the mental health, to the military afforded that for me to do that, and it's real expressive. Everyone needs to do that because, especially if you're coming out of the system, because you're coming from that's traumatic, and I encourage that mental health. Please, there's nothing wrong. Take away from you. Sometimes we need to get that thought out your mind. You know what I'm saying? So with that said,
so when you got sentenced,
yeah,
and you had 4 kids and your wife, they take 2 life sentences.
Yeah.
How was that first conversation with you and your wife?
That first conversation was, I said this to her. Matter of fact, when I got sentenced, she came to the jail. I said, yo, give me a divorce. This is what I said to her. Give me a divorce and go live your life so we can be friends. Nah, we're not going to do that.
We got a caller here, man.
Go ahead.
Caller, what up, caller? You on the beat 139?
What's good? Shout out to the guys, and double shout out to salute to Kareem. But my question is, what are some of the biggest lies about prison that we hear?
Who's that for me?
Yes.
Oh, the biggest lies, at least I can talk from experience, is that there's no programs, that there's no opportunities. You're talking in that aspect, academically, or just in general? What are you talking? Just be
Anything, any lie we hear,
well,
like.
At least in the feds, I can only talk for the feds. There is programs, but a lot of people don't want to do programs. So eventually, after they stop the programs, because I did the programs in a time when nobody wanted. But as people start seeing that programs is necessary, and those are things that is needed and helpful as you go on, and you can use it in your motions, people started coming in. Some people to this day want to get involved, and it's too late because in your legal work, there's stages. You have a time period. If you don't file something within this time, you can get procedurally barred, and a lot of guys, unfortunately, are procedurally barred. Now, in the aspect of in the feds of being raped, people are willingly doing that. All right, don't let nobody tell you ain't nobody taking no ass. No, dudes are willingly. That's another thing that I tell dudes. Don't call me no OG. You know, please, call me this, and no disrespect to nobody. You know, there's dudes that are reputable and they're messing. They on some sense. I'm not old. Listen, homie, I didn't go in as that. I don't want that. I don't knock no man for that. That dude. And you know, people always hear me say that, and the youngsters when I explain to them, because we have a tendency of just taking up names and just running with something. But education is there. You can, guys, that we're given $300. We're allowed to spend $300, I think, and $60. Well, I don't know if they changed it, but at the time, A lot of guys are just buying food and you gambling. You can do $25 a month and go to college. You can get a proctor. You can do that. There's colleges that will work with you. Nobody don't want to do it. So there's opportunity in that sense. Another thing is, if you want help and you file to get psych help, they'll give you the psych help. That's a fact. You know, I'm talking from when I hear dudes, fuck that, I ain't doing that. Excuse the language. Be more specific if I didn't cover anything like that, bro. Is there anything specifically you want to ask me? Other than that, did I touch what you're saying? Because
definitely. I just wanted to. It wasn't really for me. It was for everybody else. I feel like there's a lot of lies out there.
I speak to a lot of brothers in there, and there's brothers now that's watching us. Trust me, and I tell them, do not let peer pressure stop you from doing. You cannot count tomorrow's points and gain something today. Every day is a victory and the next is a challenge. Educate your damn self, man. You owe it to yourself, because when you lock in that damn 8x10 cell, the reality come down at you. The reality come down at you, homie. You understand what I'm saying? I tell a dude the other day, I was locked in a cell. A dude said he was going to kill me, and I caught him first. He lost his eye, he pressed charges. The prosecutor, the judge, and my lawyer laughed. This man got his record this long, and you know what I'm saying? I ain't going to put his name out there. He pressed charges on me. I'm locked in the hole for 18 months. My friends that I had, 2 flies and 3 ants. And I was telling somebody the other day, I said, yo, homie, we said that if a man talk to himself, he's burnt out. Nah, you ain't not burnt out. If you respond to yourself, no, you're not burnt out either. You know, because you expressing, you bringing your thought out and you challenging it. Now, while I was in the hole, I'm working out. It's just me. I refuse cellies. I'm working out. I'm looking at the ants. They're moving. I said, yo, man, I'm big. I can get 100 at a time straight. So I said, yo, boy, I'm talking to them just like this. Yo, I look big at you. Ants keep moving. The flies buzzing around. I never forget it. I'm going to speed it up. It was winter time, and we was in the hole for like 6 months just came by, and they predicted snow. I was living, my cell was on the first floor. So they served chicken chop suey that night and pound cake with icing. I said, yo, fellas, yo, man, we on, boy. I said, let me knock this 100 out for you. I did that. And then I put the flies, I gave the ants, ants just keep moving. The Bible said, be like an ants, because you go to an ant's nest, that money stacked up, So boom, now, we did all that. I'm listening to the rap joint came on. I fell asleep, and I woke up about 3 o'clock, and it was snow at the window. I heard zzz, zzz. I got up. I said, oh, shit. One is dead and one is zzz. Then I look at the ants. I said, oh, man. Yo, I literally cried, homie. I ain't going to lie to you. I literally cried because I got attached to them. I got attached to that life. You understand? That was emotional, and I sat there because one thing about the prison, you get emotional. That's why I'm selective with you. Open up with dudes because you all build a bond, and the feds can ship you from here to there any minute. You get cool with dudes where you develop bonds. Anyway, I'm in there with them, and I sat down. I said, yo, man, I'm sorry, man. I overfed you, man. I killed you at 187. And I sat down on the bed and I did like this. Then I fell in a slumber. Seriously, I fell in a slumber. And I woke up in an hour's time, but it felt like 3 hours. And a voice said to me, yo, nah, you never see flies in winter. So I said, God, I got down, I said a prayer, and I said, oh, God. I said, yo, y'all gonna laugh. I got down to the ants. I said, yo. I said, I ain't killed them. I ain't killed them, man. Blood clot, I ain't killed them, y'all feel good now, man. For real, B. Y'all know I ain't killed them. So, no, seriously, so it came on me, and then later on I found out flies don't live in winter.
Correct.
But these are things that I tell these youngsters, when you take a man out of, and you put a man's back against the wall, he's gonna dig into himself. The answer within everything is within ourselves. I said this, I says that, and so when I found out that, I felt a little better. And later on now when I asked the psych, I told him what happened. They said, oh my God. They said at that time you was coming to reality. You came with yourself. You connected with another life. And that goes back to the military. The military has something in there that they try to let you become brotherhood. And how they do that, they'll put a white and a black together or a mix, and you go in the gas chamber. and you take your mask off, you got to say your name, rank, and serial number. Then when I do that, you got to do it with the gas. The shit is burning me up, you know? The shit is burning me up, and the gas is tearing me up, so I got to wait for you to say your name, rank, and serial number the same way. You understand what I'm saying? And
I have another question. I don't want to hog the line, but I do have another. Would you say that prison made you a better man?
Prison made me find myself.
Okay.
It made me find myself because I was out of society with distractions. When you take somebody out, there's no distractions. You can get in tune with yourself. I wasn't worried about peer pressure. I wasn't worried about what a person thought about me or anything, because my main objective was to get home to my family. I realized that the most important thing in the world is family. When I talk to my family or when I see them on a visit, yo, man, that was the most devastating when I come back. I'm crushed. Them little 8 hours that you get in the visiting room is nothing, man. I'm crushed. I'm talking literally, I had to go to the shower. Tears come down my eyes. You understand what I'm saying? Because you see your family, and as they go on the stages, they start getting older and older and older. So me personally, prison made me find myself, and then it made me find my spirituality. That's when I said I got baptized in 92. And at first, I say this, a lot of dudes say, oh, you believe in spook God? Nah, homie. I said, I'm a son of God. I'm not going to put no titles on it. I said, what I do will say, I said, I tried everything else. I tried everything from Obi, or y'all call it voodoo. I did all that. It ain't work for me because I didn't give my soul over to it. Now I'm going to go back to this, the basics. And I say this, I believe in God, and I know a lot of us believe in God. And I say God knows the nature of man, and he knows that man can take words and manipulate it and twist it. But I don't think that if you sincerely build a bond with God, that he's going to enable somebody to distort something to throw you off. The basic is 99 attributes is one God. Every religious or every division says this: you must love your brother like you love yourself. Want for your brother what you want for yourself, and praise God. That's the basic. You know what I'm saying? Nothing more, nothing less. So that's what did for me, bro. You know what I'm saying, homie?
Yeah, I got you. And then my last thing is, what's the best thing about yourself today?
The best thing about myself is that the best thing about myself today is that I realized that what I've been doing that I thought was so wrong, so right, was so wrong. And now I have a strong love for humanity. I have a strong love to help people. I'll stop. I show and prove I do it. People come and ask for something, I help them. I don't know them. Somebody was with me the other day. Yo, where you do that? I said, homie, chill, man, chill. Because there's no reason. I got more than enough. I can buy him food. I don't need to know them. I don't need no accolades. I don't need nobody to take pictures of what I do. And I've been doing that. And I ended up going to Columbia University. I was doing that in there too when people asked. You know? So by that, what you just asked me, and then when I left from the penitentiary, and in 8 months I was going to Columbia University. You know, and my professors, I remember one night I was doing universal writing. I remember this one specific night, it was 9 professors in there and 30 of us. And Professor Nenny says, we're all going to get in a circle. Everybody say one word and say your name. When it got to me, I said, my name is Mike, and I said surreal. When everybody broke up, she came, about 4 of them came to me, what you mean by that? And about 5 students. I said, well, coming from where I'm coming from, if you heard my story, you'll understand my glory. I said, I'm just leaving an 8x10 cell. I said, I used to read my Entrepreneur, my Forbes magazine, and my Black Enterprise. And in there, I used to see stuff about colleges and all this. To be living this moment right now, it's a surreal moment for me. I still can't believe it. They said, oh, wow, that's it. But to me, I'm just keeping it real. There's nothing made. I said, look, I'm appreciative. Every day I thanked her. She said, Mike, she said, you don't got, I said, look, trust me. Unless a person is taken, your life is taken. Listen, homie, my release date was a pine box. You understand what I'm saying? And you see, talking, I don't do that. If you, right now, and even from in there, if a dude is not talking something constructive, I'm not trying to entertain. I don't want to hear about no war stories. I don't want to hear about this, that. I'm not into what nobody else's do. Because what you put in your belly is not going to fill my stomach. And that's what people do. People gossip about other people. 3 types of people in this world. One that makes it happen, one that wonder why it's happened, and one that watches why it happened. So which one is you? You know what I mean?
Right. Did you know? I guess you went through a lot coming up. You have maybe a criminal background. So did that, like having that background, did that make you have to like love your family differently, like because of your fear of going to jail or going to prison?
Repeat. All right. Yeah. You say that. All right. Remember,
So I'll say it again. I'll repeat it for you. So like coming from a criminal background, right? Did that make you have to love your family different, or interact with your family differently because of your fear of going to prison on them?
You talking before I went in or after the fact?
Before you went in.
Right. Remember I said, if you did listen, I came from remember I said I don't have a typical story to say I came from, because all my family members were educated people. And
Gotcha.
Working class people. And what it is, I was rebellious. Now,
Okay.
I played a hypocritical role because I put on a persona like I was working in Wall Street, and I wasn't. Because back in the 80s, it wasn't prevalent and how it is today for you to broadcast, I'm a drug dealer. That was a no-no. The girls, the females, they didn't want to mess with no drug dealers. That was looked down upon. It wasn't until the late 90s, going into 2000, yeah, man, I'm a trapper, I'm a this. It becomes flamboyant. Dudes used to say, I'm into pharmaceutical, I'm into this and that.
I got a record label.
Yeah, all that. Lying. But I led a double life, and I felt hypocritical because although I was making money, I was unhappy, man. I was unhappy, and that's a fact.
Gotcha.
I was unhappy because I couldn't be myself. One thing who knew me more was my wife, and she told me, and this is the woman that her family background, they came from money. They had money, so she tell me in a minute, man, I ain't impressed with that shit. But anything she wanted, she had. You understand what I'm saying? But you always got to find, when you find that good woman and that balance, and that was more eating me up. What that was more eating me up through my bed was I shoulda, coulda, woulda, I shoulda listened. That is the worst thing. But one thing I learned now is premonition. Women have that. When you get a good woman and she tell you something, listen to her, homie. Listen to her.
Gotcha. All right. Well, I appreciate y'all.
Thanks, bro. Appreciate the
Thanks
call,
for calling
man.
in.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Wow, that's crazy. Your family, like you said, you told her when you told her this divorce you. You
Yeah.
had 2 life sentences. She came to visit you, told you divorce you. What happened after
She
that?
told me when she came, she said, "Nah, I'm not going to divorce you because you got your appeal. We got your appeal to do." That's what she told me. You see, because and when I left there, when we had to lay in D.C., the feds we got convicted in June. I got sentenced in July. The feds came and got me in December because we laid that. When we got back to the jail, they locked us up in maximum. Reason being, I said, "Yo," we said to the lieutenant, "What's up?" He said, "Nah, look here, man, y'all are out of towners. I don't want nobody to try y'all to get a name off y'all." I said, "Nigga was like, yo, man, but that made sense because you're gonna have dudes try that, especially you out of town. Anyway, they locked us up behind the wall in D.C. And to me, D.C.'s worse than Rikers Island. Why I say that? Because when on Lawton, it's like military barracks.
Lawton.
When the police count, he leaves. When an inmate come to hit a dude, they can come in from the back. I seen it happen. They coming from the back and they coming from the front. The police is nowhere in the area, and there's about 10 barracks. So you do the man, and these joints is like this, and they what they call that shit? The Bethlehem. The Bethlehem. When they run that joint in you, they run that joint in you. It's going through you. So me and my comrade, me and all the we stayed together, arm in arm. But like I said, respect was given. One thing about DC, if you a man, they're gonna carry you like a man. If you were a B, they're gonna bring it out of you for real. Then you got some dudes blatant with the yeah, son, I'm on this, I'm on ass. But not everybody. Just like you have every state. Every state got that. So I'm not gonna pinpoint no one state with like everybody say, oh, them DC. Nah, you got some good men out of DC. Straight up. Dudes that I know, that I respect, and I got comrades. You understand? But yeah, when she said that, And I was really trying not to be a burden. I didn't want to put her in a predicament where when I call, you got to be like, oh, I don't want to talk. By me saying, yo, you got your life, you can be freely, But she said, as a woman, she said, nah, and she stood with me.
But
You don't get that type of woman.
So that's in the beginning. So year after year, like you said, 4 little kids home, because you had all your kids back.
No, it's 2. I got 2 kids with her.
Oh, 2 kids
Yeah,
with your
the
wife.
other 2 is by a Dominican. The boy and the girl is by a Dominican. My first daughter, my oldest daughter, and my son, their mothers are Dominican. So the wife had two daughters.
Okay, so the 2 daughters by your wife, you just getting into your bed.
Yeah.
Now she said, oh, don't worry, we got the pill in. Now you get to like say year 7, year 8.
Yeah.
How her mindset was, because now it's like, it sounds good. Okay, we got the pill in, and people think it's like this.
Man,
Now it's like,
my
damn,
appeal went
you
from
been in
92.
8
I got
joints.
knocked down in the appeal, and she said, we'll work it out. She was real. She comes from let me tell you something. She comes from a line of women. Her mother was a strong matriarch. Her mother, they come from a line of women that's on principles, stand on principles. And I want to say this is that it's not that she didn't know the game, she understood it. You understand? And I know a lot of things. One thing I never did, I never questioned her. And she never did nothing where her name was out, because my name was still in the streets. People still, none of that. And if it was out, it don't matter. My daughters, their lifestyle never changed. I got beautiful daughters to this day, all 3 of my daughters. My youngest is a doctor, like I said, and she strives for herself. She's still going on. She has 3. Like I said, I got 10 grandkids, and I got 1 on the way. You understand? And these are hardworking women. These are women that stand on principles, that matriarchic woman, you know, and I'm proud of them.
You got to understand something, Doc. Because I seen it in myself. You got some chicks that's going to leave, right, in the beginning. You got some chicks that's going to leave after like 2 years, they figure how your kid's going to go. And you got some chicks that's just going to stay. You understand? The thing is, you can't worry about what they doing or whatever. You can't put that on your head. You got to block that. As long as they make sure you good on that bed and they come see you when they can, if you got kids by them and your kids are being taken care of, that's all you can ask for. But I seen some women ride with their dudes all the way through. 100%. Oh, and I mean, I was in the feds too. And travel and be there and packages and stamps and newspapers and all that. You know what I'm saying? Going to the store with the big bag coming back all the way through with their time. So there's some chicks that ride her all the way out.
I know that,
You know what I'm saying?
but I'm just saying, like, he had life sentence.
Had 2 lives.
It don't matter. It don't matter.
No, but listen,
it don't matter.
When somebody has
Some gonna do it anyway because of the love, man. They've been married or even not even married. My kid's father, y'all got a bond. I know this. He got 100 years, but he's still alive. So I'm gonna go see him, and that's it. They be like that sometimes.
And another thing is, it depends on the foundation that you
Correct.
had and
The
what you left and
foundation's
what you
everything.
did. Because that played a part. And then you got, like he said, you got some girls, they don't wait till the fingerprint dry. And
Right.
send to a book and they start eating up joints. They the niggas car with their head bobbing. The fingerprint ain't dry yet when you getting fingerprint. They in there, they weeble wobble, you know? That's a fact. I see that immediately.
Yeah.
You know, and
I
I'm
seen all
grateful
3
for that.
stages, man.
I'm grateful for that because that never happened.
Hey.
And it's always the kids. She goes around my family. She and my family they said, and that plays a part too. You know, I was a piece of shit as far as in the not listening. I was stubborn, and I can admit that. And I'm trying to better my ways. I can't change the past, like I tell them. It's not a perfect thing. This is not an overnight thing. This is a journey. This is something I'm still striving to try to better. Like I said, if you look at my posts, you see me with my grandkids.
Yeah.
There's nothing. They'll never want for nothing. It's about generational
Definitely
wealth.
do,
Homie. I'm with my grandkids 24/7. Whatever they want. This is little Princess Austin, Hudson, you know, Emery and Harper. My grandson Ray, and Malaya. Anything they want. Malaya, my granddaughter in the Bronx, she played ball. She like that. You understand what I'm saying? So anything they want, they mothers. It's family. I tell the youngsters when they call me, I say the family's the most important thing. Don't disrespect the woman. Don't call a woman out her name. You know, dudes and another thing that I got a problem with, and I tell these dudes when they be asking, yo, well, this dude be lying. He used to be in the feds, and they used to shake his pockets. But he come out here and he on social media and he's talking. I said, look, homie, don't worry about that energy. Leave that alone. Let him have his own because eventually the truth will come to light. You know, one thing about that, I've been in nothing but penitentiaries. I started in Leavenworth. Went from Leavenworth. I went to Lewisburg. From Leavenworth, I caught a stabbing. I ended up into Terry Hutt. Terry Hutt, me and the AB kicked off the night before I was supposed to leave. He snuffed me in front of the police, and I did like this. He didn't knock me out. It was 4 of them, and no blacks came to my aid. But he didn't knock me out. He did like this, and I did like this. And the police came in and they took me. When they took us to the hole, I said, Lieutenant, let me get a fair one. He said, Palmer, you've been here for over 9 years, and the amount of shit you done, you can't win it all. Yeah, we watched the camera. He snuck you while he talking to you. And he had slippers on. That's why I never, big AB nigga, they not big old goofy nigga. It was 4 of them. But I stayed prepared. So he did that. It never knocked me out. My back hit the wall. So that from there on, I realized that ain't nobody coming in. I got to do me. So from then on, I got on some different time. When I got to Lewisburg, the first thing, any spot I asked for, anybody will tell you. I said, yo, let me get a Donko. I said, joint. I don't want no cosmetics. I'll take this jail cosmetic. Give me a joint. Yo, it don't matter. Give me something. That's what niggas say, yo, you burnt it. Nah, that's what I want. I don't want nothing else. Don't give me no package because I'm going to go to the store. You dudes got a tendency when they do something for you, they want to talk about it. I'm good, homie. Mm-hmm. Boom. So, boom, we go with that. My next penitentiary, from there, a dude called me. Again, I got in a situation. I ended up leaving Lewisburg. I was there for Lewisburg. Then we signed up for the cadre. I got in that, but the dude kept calling me nigga. I said, homie, that's not my name. I don't call nobody. I don't talk like that. He called me one morning. I hooked off, and that's how I ended up leaving. From there, I went to Coleman 2. I was down to Coleman 2. It didn't last a year. You got Preacher down there on the other side of the fence. You had some Brooklyn niggas. Preachers, yo, let me talk to you. And I said, homie, me and you don't have nothing to talk about. He said, no, but you a real dude. I said, homie, because him and Prince in Beaumont, they just had that shit. But one thing with preaching, dudes will back him. They don't care what it is. As long as dudes get he sees a whole lot of shit with him and henchmen. Them niggas get the package and they pay dudes. So dudes are going to gravitate around you. So he come
Preacher was strong in there?
Yeah, niggas respect him because he's a killer.
Yeah.
See, killer, one thing in the prison system, killer is most respected by staff and everybody because they say, oh, this man could kill at any minute. And it's not just him, it's with killers, period, because a killer is never one to want to create problems in the system. A killer is real quiet and he moves. Mm-hmm. So when they know your jacket, they call him the silverback. He's a gorilla, he moves his shit, you know, but he said he wanted to talk to me. I said, yo, so he's on one side. He said, yo, not man. He wanted to press the other young dude from New York. He said, yo, what you gonna do for an old man? The nigga said, I ain't gonna do nothing for you. I ain't got nothing for you. He said, yo, he tell me what he wants. I said, yo, preacher, why you telling me that? I'm not in your world, homie. Yeah. So we go with that. So I stayed, I only lasted a year up there. Some dropout blood, disrespect some other dudes in my circle, the other Jamaican that they had to drink on the take. So you mess that up when you fucking up another nigga's livelihood. Mm-hmm. So
I know what a dropout is, but can you explain to the people they real interested?
A dropout is when somebody drop out from another yard. A lot of gang members was dropping out, so they were sending them to Coleman 2. They were sending them to Arizona. Arizona was known for sex offender spots, but he's also a dropout. And they had another spot down in I think it's Tuskegee, Mississippi, where they were sending dudes out. These dudes will come off a line. They was gang members, but they had got ran up off the yard. So a dropout.
A lot of people, I ain't mean to cut you off, but a lot of people be thinking most dropouts is for the snitches.
No, you got dropouts. Dropouts can be.
It could be.
Dropouts can be for gang members. It can be for snitches. It can be for. Then you got dudes. Also, you got dudes up in ADX that are hot. See, ADX is a hideout spot too. When dudes say, "Oh, I come from ADX," I know dudes that came down and talked to me. They say, "Yo, man, you got such and such a what?" Yeah, it's a hideout spot because just like Marion used to be a hideout spot. A situation happened in Terry Hutt. I ended up going to Marion, but only for a day. I ended up going through there because they snatched everybody up off the yard. That's another episode. I don't want to get in that because that's going to take away from this. But they snatched me up and I ended up going up there. I ended up there like 48 hours and they brought me back down because they just gavelled everything. But you got a lot of dudes that's hideouts in those maximum spots too. So don't get it twisted. And then dudes are going to maximum spots for having more than one knives, getting problems with argument. There's a whole lot of variables involved. Not to take away from those that's there, but it's a hideout spot too, fellas. Don't get it twisted. Let me just let the massive know that too. Just because the dude said, yo, I was in ADX, but you see, you look at a dude and you say, you was what? How did you get up there? Because you can get up there because they think you're going to incite a riot.
Yeah.
There's many different variables to get up there, homie. Yeah. You understand what I'm saying? Because men gonna recognize me. If I come around like you or I come around you all, I feel energy. I feel energy. It's like if a dude say to shake your hand, look here. You shake my hand like this. What's that? You see that?
Yeah.
You saw my, you're supposed to shake my hand like that. But if I shake your hand, a man's hand fall in your hand. It's just like an energy with a man. In the penals, when you come around a dude and dude talk, dudes can feel who's real and who's not.
Right.
Dudes can feel it, homie. I don't gotta and then one thing about prison is big but it's small. Somebody knows somebody that knows somebody that knows somebody. That's a fact. Like I said, I went from Coleman, I went to Allenwood. One thing I can say about Prince from the Supreme team.
The one that just came home.
Just came home. This is when I met Gerald.
He did 34 too.
He did 34. I met Prince. I've heard of with the Supreme team. We was on Rikers Island, but we never really. But Prince was the first one met because when you pull into the feds, there's always one man that governs. See, New York, we don't have no leaders, but you always have one that the administration look at. And Prince was that designated individual. Regardless of what dudes want to say about him, he carried himself, at least around me, carried himself like a man. And he loved New York. What happened when I pulled in there? The same thing. He heard a homie come. I met him in the yard. I said, homie, I need a joint. He introduced me to other Jamaicans. And I said, look, yeah, I don't need nothing. What, is there a problem? I said, I just need to have one. Anyway, he got me a job in the gym. He got me my first job in the gym. The gym, you come up there, So my first time cleaning, me and the Aztec Mexicans, I'm cleaning the area. Them niggas got their knives all over the spot. So I'm moving the joint. This nigga start talking reckless. Now back then I'm proud. Yeah, listen, man. It's about 10 of them over. So I said, what? I said, homie, I'm cleaning. I'm there. So I said, F you, boop, bop, boop, bop. So Prince is the only one that came. Hold on. And the mother knew, yo, look here, man, I can give you stories with dudes from the town and I'm not even getting that. But he the only one that came and he stepped to the dude and we talked. Then the dude come apologize, because niggas gonna try you. But I told him, and from then on, I had a different.
Hey Jay,
look.
could you put this
So that's
show
how,
number on the screen?
So that's how that went. So from Allenwood, they started bringing in transvestites and rats. So they started body snatching dudes that was live wise, that was against that. Me and the council never got on, so I snatched him up and sent me down to Hazleton. When I got to Hazleton, it was locked down straight up, and I'm appealing my case, right? So it was a COVID. We locked down in the cell 23 hours a day. Make a long story short, a year go by, they start let us back out. My lawyer filed, then from Hazleton, I ended up going to McCurry. From Hazleton, what happened was, Supreme, the uncle, he had a co-defendant there from the Bronx, the one of them that was on the case with the Baltimore situation. Anyway, he's the one that was governing the block. Anyway, a dropout came from McKean's, a blood dude. He's an 8. Yo, little short dude. I used to feed him, look out for him, but he get high in the deuce. So this one particular morning, I just got my case reversed. I had a Crip that was my cellie, and they checked him in. They checked him in because he changed. I started talking to him. They said that, yo, you rolled up in that cell and you changed. So they checked him in. So I come out the morning and use the phone, and I said, who's next on the phone?
Hold on, caller.
Hello?
Hold on, caller. You're on the beat 139?
What's happening?
You're here with Mike Knox.
Okay, first of all, let me just say this. Salute to the general that's sitting there with y'all, first and foremost. Secondly, you looking amazing. I gotta say that. I don't know what it is about you silver foxes, but yeah, you look amazing. Salute to you.
Thank you.
But Don Vito, what's happening?
What up, how you? What's good?
Doctor Shake the Block, what's happening?
Good, how you? Everything good?
Everything?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm not going to keep you long. I respect what the brother is saying. I appreciate what the brother is saying. You'll see all this stuff that's going on around us. And brothers like such as all three of y'all that's sitting up there, that, you know, it's gonna take you all to bring everything together. Pull these YNs together. I hate the name YNs, but that is what it is, what they call.
Yeah, my nephew's a YN, and I'm glad.
Believe me, mine is too.
I'm
Mine
glad.
is too. I got a couple of them.
As a sister, as a mother, as a queen, I thank you because I wrote in my memoirs that the women, you all are the first mothers and teachers of civilization. And I tell dudes, I encourage them, stop disrespecting the woman because the women are, believe it or not, as soon as when a dude get locked up, you all are the first ones they call it. Can you look out for me? Can you send me something? But yet you disrespect, you know?
Right.
And
Right.
you all have that premonition, the intuition in you. And I, like I said, I can be a man and admit that I wish I had listened to a lot of things the woman said, you know, because you all play your part. You all are the infrastructure of society. That's my opinion, because you all are the first mothers and teachers of civilization. Because the doctors, you're the first doctors. When we sick, after you nurture, when you sick, who you go to? Mommy, you go to the woman. You're the first one teaching them the basics, what to do. So you all play a very important part, and I appreciate you that. I appreciate you and respect you, and I salute you for that, man. What's your name?
My name is Stephanie, but they call me Snook. Snook Harlem.
Okay.
The Harlem Takeover.
Harlem been real good to me back in the day, so I know how it is, and I love that. And what it is right now, it's about the youth.
Getting your college degree, but not sure where to start. WGU offers more than 40 real-world bachelor's degree programs.
You're the first mothers and teachers of civilization. Because the doctors, you're
Talking. What I was saying something. What I was talking about.
You were talking about
Saying something before she called.
yeah, dropout. Yeah. You talked about-
Yeah. So what happened was the morning I came down, yo, who's on the phone? They said, yo, not you next. Next thing he pops out of nowhere. He said, yo, I'm there. I was on the fire. Go ahead, man. Then I said this to him. I said, God damn, nigga, you high and all that. He gets on the, he from Brooklyn. He get on the phone. I get on the phone. Mark, I went down there. Something just told me put my bulletproof on. So I have my bulletproof.
He got the bulletproof.
I'm on the phone for 5 minutes. I feel
We had
this.
another caller.
I feel it. Nah, ain't no magazines on me. Well, I'll tell you. Hold that thought. Go ahead.
He said,
Okay, there you go. There you go. I don't know the call drop, but I heard every word he said. I'm looking at all three of y'all right now.
Okay. That's what's up.
John Vito, what's happening? Dr. Shake the Blood, what's happening?
you next. Next thing he pops out of nowhere, he said, y'all, I'm there, I was on the fire. Go ahead, man. Then I said this to myself, God damn, nigga, you high and all that.
your
He gets
background.
you get on the phone, I get on the phone.
My background?
I went down there. Something just told me.
Okay, hold on.
I'm on the Facebook for 5 minutes. I don't feel this. I never called. I feel that. No, ain't no magazines on me. I said, we're going to hold that door. He said,
Okay, there you go, there you go. I don't know the call drop, man. I heard every word he said. I'm looking at all three of y'all right now.
okay, so what's up?
Yeah, we
Shake the Blood, what's happening?
what up?
Hey, we got a bad connection. We got to stop the call.
Yeah, the connection not that good right now.
Right.
Yeah.
All right, thanks for calling.
But I'm not gonna keep you long. I'm not gonna keep you long. I just wanted to say salute to this brother and salute to all of you. And just y'all be on the lookout because the Harlem Takeover / My Adult Daycare plus the B139, we're gonna do a major collaboration in Harlem.
That's what's up. That's what's up.
I'm looking at all three of y'all right now.
That's what's up.
What's up? Good.
Yeah, because so the brother was on them. The connection ain't that good right now. Yeah, the connection not good at all.
Yeah, thanks for calling.
Salute you, Steph.
But I'm not gonna keep you along. I'm not gonna.
All right.
Why you leaving it
yo,
on if the connection is bad, man?
So the morning what happened was I come down. So while a bulletproof is not by magazines, homie. When I have my personal tailor, what he did, he put an extra from Unicore. They pad it right here, cause your heart is right here, and they pad right here, the kidneys. Once a nigga hit you in the kidneys, it's over with. You understand? You're going down. So the kidneys, and there's an extra pad right here, cause you can kill right here once you hit under the arm. You understand what I'm saying? All the pressure points. So I had that on. I had my Forex. Anybody know me know I always wear Forex 5X shirts. So I came down. Something just say put it on in the morning. because I ain't had no celly. My celly always look out, although he was a Crip. Me and him had a bond. So I said, God damn, nigga, early in the morning. So I'm on the phone like this. I go like this. When I look, he's on the ground like this. What he did, he had a knife. He hit me. He hit me 3 times in the back and 1 in the head. So right here, the little spot right here is just a little, the littlest spot is what always leaks. So ain't nothing happened here. So when he did that, I backed up to the wall. I feel the blood coming out. It was a little bit. I said, damn. So I said, let me go pack my shit. Marky, I just got my case reversed. My mind right now, fuck that. I'm going to kill this nigga. Excuse the language, people.
Now go ahead. Go ahead.
So I take my time. I walk to my room. So a DC dude was sitting on the I said, yo, homie, am I leaking? He said, yeah, I'm not. You dripping. So I go in there, took my shit off. I got down on my knees, and I'm in the toilet. Patching my shit up, patching my joint up. So because we was taught that. So put salt in it, it dries up the wound. So while everybody's waiting, out of the 150, only 10 people see what happened, but they start talking. Yo, that nigga with the nut going to come up. So he went and jumped on another dude from New York, just on GP, so he could get checked in. So the dudes came in, they locked him up. But somebody told them to come to the room. So the police called me when I was down. Oh, we got one in here. And that's how I ended up leaving there. So now we in the hole. They take me and the other dude to the hospital. We come back, they put us on a tier. So I had a DC dude in the cell with me, and they have him. But he on the tier talking to other blood. Yeah, man, I just had to take care of 2 old heads. So they over there, brap, they doing all that, right? So the DC dude said, them niggas is check-ins. He said, yo, I said, I don't want that nigga, but I can't get him. So he says, so back then it was a stipple. So I says, so he talking, he going, I don't say nothing. So I'm reading my Bible. I'm praying. I'm saying, yo, God, man, I don't want to get in that mindset. So I said to the DC dude, and about a week go by, we talk, and I said, yeah, man, I need that nigga, man. I can't help. So I said, I'll give you 10 bands. He said, what? I said, nah. I want all this going, his teeth. I want the eye going, and I want the X on his face. That's what I want. You ain't just going to get 10. So he said, huh? So this is how I was feeling. I'm keeping it 100. I ain't lying. I'm keeping it 100 because that happens all the time, homie. I can't reach him because one thing with the feds, when you get in a situation, you're separated. But he's a check-in. And you did this, and it's like when the Latin kings, when you touch their blood, they say you touch king blood and all that. Cause my Cody, that's another situation. You end up going to marry him, cause you know what I'm saying. But anyway, so boom, we in the 30 days go by. They say transfer. Who do they take out in the morning? Me and him. 5:30. But I'm seeing 3 of the biggest white boys I never seen before. I think it was a setup. So they took us down. So I hurried up. And I got my shit off. So he's like, I said, nah, homie, I ain't gonna do that. I don't work like that. If I'm gonna do anything, I want a fair one. So he started crying. Yo, man, I didn't mean that's meant for such and such, because he disrespected me. He called me a bitch ass. You know, you don't invite a man to your manhood, to the Oscar Mayer wiener in the block. The dude told him to eat his joint up. So he said, yo, man, but I see you talk to him. I said, nah, nigga, I talked to a lot of dudes, but he your homie from the Bronx. I mean, he my homie. I talked to him. But anyway, because of the fact that I used to feed him and we used to talk, I know that I always go by this: first impression is everlasting impression. That's how I do. That's how I was taught. So I said, you know what? Your ego was hurt. So boom. So we sat. So we waiting that people start coming down. Ain't nothing happen. The crackers ain't see nothing happen. So we sit down. We chained up. So he keep apologizing. I said, yo, you good, man? So when we get to Oklahoma, the transit, I said, no. He checked in there. He thought I was trying to rock him to sleep, but I wasn't gonna do nothing to him. He's short. I wasn't gonna do nothing to him, and he was skinny. He did that out of, and them things happen, and that's where a thinker come in. I've been in situations where you can look here. You see this? You see that? Mm-hmm. You see that scar? That's when I was doing the book game. Had the book there. It was the riot between DC and the ABs. We was in. It was I think it was Dallas and the Redskins was playing. The block that they had for Death Row. So because I got an 016 number, I'm involved, regardless of what. The white boys were so we going back and forth, and I eased up like this, and the nigga caught me on the knee. I didn't go to the doctor for it. It was patched up in the block, sewed up. Mm-hmm. You understand what I'm saying? So I've been through my joints. I've been through many other shit. But anyway, from Hazleton, I ended up going to McCrary. And that's when I met Preem from the Preem team, and Preem set it out. Him and another one called Dirtbag from the Bronx. He looked out, and Steve Marcelli, you know, they looked out from Co-op City. and some other people, because your name circulating the system, people know who you are. Man was reputable. So I would give that, I say that, and that's why my case was reversed from there. I left from there. Then ICE held me. Then I went to court and I beat that, because when I came here, I was young. My mother, when she came, I'm a citizen because of that. When my mother became citizen, I was a juvenile still. So that's it. God has been good. Everything has been happening inside. There's no secrets. I ain't jump out no back window. My life is an open book. I'm on the law books. There's a lot of dudes that I see come on this that was in the system, that their stories is this long, and you wasn't doing none of that in there.
So when did when did you find out about the double jeopardy law?
The double jeopardy law is that once you given a kingpin charge in the 848, as 192, you cannot have both of them, because the 848B trumps the whole organization. For you to have an 848 and a conspiracy, that's a double jeopardy. Mm-hmm. You understand what I'm saying? So they always dismiss the conspiracy. Mm-hmm. I found that out in 92. But I wasn't too quick to file for it because Clinton fucked up the habeas corpus when he went and signed for the anti-terrorist bill and made you one shot. It fucked it up, because before, who was making laws change was a pro se litigants. You could go up there and file constitutional violations, and you was getting cases. The cases that was getting set in the law books were by pro se litigants. Mm-hmm. But when he come with that 1 year, it limits you. You don't have time to play games. You're shot. So what I did, by me learning the little law, I learned how to manipulate the law, how to manipulate the clock. You put in motion. You supersede, you put in motion for extensions, you do this, or you work the federal rules of criminal procedures. You file different things, because as it's sitting down in there, the clock is still ticking. Sometimes they sit in your motion for 6-7 months. Mm-hmm. They sat on my 2255 for 14 years. That's unheard of. Wow. Because they know they effed up on my case. You charged me, you gave me a super kingpin in the law books. You said I sold 150 to 200 kilos of crack cocaine. Where's the evidence? There's no tape. There's none of that. This is what is in the law books. But on my indictment, it says 5 grams or more. So what you did, you manipulated the system. You took 5 grams and multiplied it times 300 times the amount to come up with the minimum of 1,500 grams to trigger a life without parole with an 848. So there's a whole lot of tricks. So when Trump came in and he made the thing, it changed the whole guidelines. It changed everything. That's how a lot of dudes that had life sentences were able to get resentenced. So in the process of that, filing, I kept, like I said, I knew in my heart that I wasn't going to die in jail. At first I was crushed, but as the more knowledge I'm reading and I'm seeing law, and I said, hold on now. And Dr. Fisher told me this. He said, this is what he said to me. He said, educate yourself, learn the law, and stay out of prison politics. He said, every 10 years, laws change. But under the new law, it's every 20 years. So when he told me that was more reassuring for me, and I acted upon that. I no longer pressed my wife. I never asked her what she do, where she go. I always encouraged her, I always called. And like I said, those based on the little short conversation I had with Dr. Fisher, because I called him, I'm gonna give him his props. His name is Dr. Fisher. He did the ultimate. And when I got to Allenwood, the post that he had, I ended up getting that job. Mm-hmm. He ran the safety department. I ended up running the safety department. They'll come in, the staff, yo, you know Fisher? I said, yeah, I know he homie, yeah. So that was another plus that I had his spot. Mm-hmm. And I spoke to him on I spoke to him and his wife, Tanya, real good couple, you know what I'm saying? And like I said, I give people their props. So I don't ride nobody's nuts. I'm gonna give their props, just like with Cash know my Cody's, you understand what I'm saying? And I give a man his props. Because why is it that we can't say to each other, yo, Don Vito, man, I like your style, homie. You know what? I'm digging your, or Doc, man, I'm digging your, or Ted, or why we can't do that?
Ain't nothing
Instead
wrong
of
with that,
tearing a man down, we'll tear
right?
each other down before we bring each other up, homie. That's crazy. Mm-hmm. That's crazy.
So, any of your co-defendants home, or you the only one?
All my co-defendants is home.
Right,
the last one to come home was was Gary Weiss. He had 20 years in Baltimore, and he ended up doing 30. He ended up doing 37 years in all because the feds eventually let him go, and the judge let him go with intentions that he was going to get the parole. But when he get to Baltimore, Maryland, they come with some bullshit. So he laid up sitting in there for 2 years. Then he eventually they said, "Yo, man, he's damn near 70. Let him out."
So basically, when your appeal kind of opened the doors for them, because y'all all had life.
Nah, this is what happened. When you go to trial, everybody appeal their case together. They knocked us down. So now every man is for themselves. It comes the habeas corpus stage, meaning that you have to find now how it was constitutionally violation. Like me now, I'm sentenced under a statute. Even if the laws change, if Trump didn't do what he do, I couldn't have got no rhythm because I'm sentenced under a statute. Life without parole. My exodus was a pine box, straight up and down. You understand what I'm saying? One had life in 50, one had life in 30. The 30 was for machine guns. The life in 50 they gave Harris 30 years for machine guns. Danny had 30-something years and so forth. But majority, like I said, they wheeled 27 weapons in our joint. You understand what I'm saying? And that's how that went. So what I did while I'm filing is every man for themselves when you in your habeas corpus.
Now y'all split in different prisons.
We're all in different prisons. I got the opportunity to see the co-defendant that they say was under me finally in Lewisburg. He was in Allenwood, and he plays ball a lot. He's known in the system. And a Latin King dude tried to hit him from the back. And he turned around, took the joint, and hit him up, and he ended up going to marry him. And
y'all
he got
was
out.
together for a short
I seen him in
period of
Louis.
time.
He came from Marion, and he came to Lewisburg, and I seen him. He was there for about a year, about 2 years. And that was the first time I seen him after all the time we were sentenced.
So once who appeal went through first, where y'all all start coming
The
home?
first one to get some rhythm was Danny. Was Danny, huh? Nah, Chief was Danny. Danny got out first. He knocked his joint out. Danny got out first, and so forth. You know. So then from Danny, the next one to get rhythm was was it Mo? I think it was Cheese, and then Mo. Yeah.
But once the first person came home, I know you was like, yes.
Now, when it get, you see, you gotta understand. Once you understand the law, you understand that everybody's argument were different.
Oh, okay.
Because they charged me as the head of the case, a super kingpin, I'm responsible for everything.
Oh, okay.
So I had to wait for some statutory rhythm to come for me to get my rhythm.
Oh, that shit was different. I got you.
That's what made us all different, because of the fact that I was given with this one damn charge. They threw that in there because when I had my time, it started with a sting operation. It was supposed to be drugs exchanged for guns. Then they turned it into, when they see now, I was a name without a face, the cop go, oh shit, I got him. Because I was a fan, oh, I got him, we got him. So they start pile, it's just like in the state, they pile charge you. A motherfucker will pile 100 counts, and it's maybe only these 2 that's really matters. They do that to try to scare you, to plea you with it. You understand what I'm saying? You charging me shit, there's nothing in there that carries that substantiated that.
Correct.
But because it was a fake war on
you.
drugs at the time, you could substantiate and the people get lost with that. You know? Yeah.
So we running out of time, right? But I want to ask you this question. So I had posted something that an event you did, like a mentorship thing or something like that. He called you. What's the pitch? My pitch I put up. What was that?
You talking so a subject matter expert.
Correct.
Okay, I was introduced to him through Topeka Sam and her husband Nazim. Topeka Sam done 12 years in the system, and she's real strong. She got her PhD, and she's another one that's advocating for women. Mm-hmm. She's travels a lot. She gets her grants, and she does her advocation for women and the halfway houses and all that. So I met her at the forum, because I spoke at the forum too. And I met her, I was introduced to her, and she gave me the opportunity. They introduced me to Don he's originally from Brooklyn, but he's out in Vegas now, where he established a big foundation. And I did that that streaming
Yeah.
and so forth. I was telling my testimony, and I was telling guys, and, people ask questions, and he was asking, "Yo, man, I'm a gangster." People don't. I said, "Look, homie, always remember this: with change, nobody wants change, but when change come, it's like a snake shedding skin. You're gonna shed away the old you. With that is gonna come some old friends. If people see that you're changing for the better and they're criticizing you, they're not meant to be your friends. Keep it pushing, homie. Keep it pushing, because you can't please everybody. The main thing you must worry about is your family. And if your wife, your family, your immediate family, and that's it.
Yeah.
Once you change, sometimes it takes a situation for us to have a transition for us to change. It takes a dramatic situation, because guess what? Anything painful is going to bring change. A woman childbirth takes 9 months. A woman up to that point, I hate you, Don, I hate you, Doc, motherfucker.
Yeah.
Why you? I ain't want no baby with you no more, you son of a bitch. As soon as that baby born, yo, what's up? You ready to go again? You just said it, man. Because she see that you brought forth life. So anything worth having is not easy. Anything worth having. What I'm going through right now, I'm not fully perfect. I'm aware of my situation, that I can be stubborn, argumentative. I'm not going to say egotistical. I might say I'm egotistical and all that stuff. I'm not going to do all that. I'm not going to. I don't feel I am. It's just that I need to slow down and take it a step at a time. I'm grateful for everybody, and for everybody, I want to give a shout out to all.
There you go.
Give a shout out to Walter Cook. He's the first black-owned safety school in Harlem. He too was on the other side. He came home and made a difference. He gave jobs to the community. He's from a big case with Boy George. Came home and made a transition. You understand what I'm saying? I want to give a shout out to Edward Funges, who runs Inclusion. Edward Funges has been there for me from day one. He has shown and proved and manifested what he stands on. He has shown me the other side, the corporate side, and it's through Edward Funges that I met William Allen, a Harlem community leader, who in turn told me about Columbia University, who in turn I acted upon it, and I went, I applied, I met the 6 professors, I went through the ring, I was approved, and I completed the GIE program. I want to also thank Mercedes. She's a chief at the VA. She has been real inspirational with advice and direction. She's like a mentor. I want to thank Miss Patterson too. She has been a mentor. I want to thank I can't pronounce her name. I don't want to mess it up. Dentist. Man, I mess up Mary Have a Little Lamb, man. Damn, man. Hold on, let me get your name right, sis. I'm not gonna play no games. Get your name right. Get your name right. Sedella. I want to thank Sedella. When I was going through Columbia University, you helped me with the essay, because she done new NYU, and she was versed in that. I want to thank my daughters, Taylor, Elon, Michelle, my son Michael, and wife Michelle, Robin, headquarters, as she's known, the boss of all bosses. I want to thank my son-in-law, who's the father of my grandchildren, Aaron. And he owns a box truck, young entrepreneur. And that's the thing, when you see me on my site, we're trying to do something to get it off the ground. I just want to thank Mac McKenzie. Mac McKenzie, he recognized a brotherhood in Rodney. These are brothers that when I came home, man, they were there. And Dap, Ricky Gunn, can't forget you, my brother. He came home, his motto was this: we went from the cave to the stage. Ricky Gunn, he was one of Heavy D. He was from Heavy D's days. He was on back then when it was on tour. But he was in the Feds. He came out and he went to college and got his associate. And now he's getting ready to do great big things. You know what I mean? So these are brothers that has been real inspirational, advice, have been real, and I'm giving my props back because they're now have transcended. We no longer talk about the past; it's about the future.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they're family orientated, and that's what it's about, man.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm grateful, fellas. I just want to thank you all from the bottom of my heart, fellas. And I want to thank you, Don Vito,
My brother.
Doc,
You already know what it
Jay,
is.
Cash, and
And
the
Tay.
homie Tay back there, Quiet Storm.
Yeah.
And the BT 184. I know I've been talking, peoples. I know I talk. I'm long-winded, man. But
Nah, this is good.
Trust me.
This is
Trust
good.
me. I could go on till for 48 hours, but I'm gonna hold that down for the movie.
Right.
I got my book. I should have been come out. My book game plan's already done, and my autobiography. Everything is done. It's just I'm not gonna say I procrastinate because I had other things on the thing, but I'm getting ready to get that out there and get that off. You know what I'm saying? Maya, how would I tell them if they want to reach me? They can go.
Now
to
tell them about your book real quick.
my book, the book game plan. If you never was in the street, you'll understand. It's an easy read. I follow James Patterson. I'm a person like this. I'm a Gemini. No, I'm not two-faced. I'm a Gemini. Geminis, we extend. I wrote the book like how I do. I got a short conscience. I get bored quick, so I wrote the book. I kept it at 2 pages, just like James Patterson's book. It's an easy read. It's about it. This one is it's a fiction and it has some non-fiction in it. The other book is my autobiography that I'm going to be bringing out. I'm going to talk about how I got in the game, why I got in the game, my walks in the penitentiary. I'm going to talk about the penitentiary and explain how the staff plays a part, how they like to keep divide and conquer. They don't want to see us all together. When they do divide and conquer, I'm going to talk about how the crack era, the changes when everybody keeps saying the game has changed. No, the game changed when the crack era came in because it allowed grandmothers and anybody to sell crack. So therefore, by them coming in the street that wasn't street people, they wasn't prepared for when the consequence came. So that's where the telling started. That's when all that started get warped. If you really think about it, fellow people, and look about it. Before that, up to that point, you had to be brought in the game. You couldn't just get in. Yo, who brought you here?
Right.
And you had to be given the rules. But when the crack came in, it was like a horror. You open up the whole world and everybody's doing it. Yo, who's that? You got a crack spot down there. Ain't that the grandmother? Yeah, she got a crack spot in there. Dudes are going in and out. So now they feel that because they're doing that and they're in the game, they feel that they're of the game, but they're not of the game. You're still an outsider because you're not prepared for the game. That's why when they come down on you, you start blowing everybody's back out. So it's my way. I can only talk from my experience. And I don't read a lot of books, believe it or not. My thing is my experience. So there's a lot more, but like I said, I'm grateful. I thank you all for this platform. And like I said, it's never late. Things happen for a reason, that grace of God. You know, I thank God every day. You know, I'm a new person. Try to do the right thing. And that's it, fellas.
But before you go, man, can you tell them what's the #1 show in Harlem, man?
The #1 show is Beat 139.
There you go.
You're listening to The Beat 139, Harlem's #1 podcast, featuring Doc, Don Vito, and Keith Cash.
1, 3.